always was about helping others, even when he didn't really have too much himself.
He never wanted anything for himself. He was really the definition of a selfless person.
My father, he led by example.
He was 14 years old when he left, and I was 9. So we went to greet him at the airport, to see him off. It was a very sad moment. But he went with about another 14, 15 boys. They were older than him. He was the youngest. And he was going to America. That was a big thing, going to America. It's like a dream. He came to the yeshiva with Rabbi Kalmanovich, and he was in the yeshiva for about a year, and then he couldn't take the food. So he started working odd jobs, at a very early age, 15, 16, started to work.
I knew I married a businessman when I got married. In fact, it even went to our honeymoon. Our honeymoon went straight into Hong Kong, Korea, Taiwan, and my whole marriage was knowing I married a businessman, and very, very ethical businessman.
When he came here at 14, he had nothing. He had no money, nowhere to stay, he didn't speak the language. That disadvantage was something that he never wanted his family to have. He always wanted us to be secured. So he worked. He would go for a month or even 2 months at a time to the Orient.
It used to take us a minimum of 20 to 22 hours to get to the Orient. I took once Swiss Air airline. After they gave me the meal, they offered me a cigar. The airline offered you a cigar. Oh, I didn't feel the bumps on that flight.
He was extremely hard worker. From day one, he always worked 6 days a week, woke up early, came home late, traveled for months at a time. It mattered a lot to him. He had a passion for it. He loved it, and he did it till the end.
He would take train to work every day. He didn't need much to live. He gave us the world.
He never worried about the competition. He always knew that whatever was meant for him was going to be there for him. That was going to be his allotment in life.
He wasn't going to just talk and say a lot of nonsense, but he would speak out at the times that really mattered most, and gave us a feeling of we have a very strong mountain behind us. Really, not even a rock, it was a mountain of support.
My father always believed that tzedakah wasn't a voluntary thing. It wasn't something I have to do, should I do it? It was an obligation. It was a requirement. You made money, you have to pay it back. You have to give it to the community, give it to schools, give it to things. He believed whatever he gave, Hashem gives you back. And without giving, you're not getting.
So many things, so many stories they heard, the family heard when he passed away, the things that nobody ever heard of, that he did behind the scenes. He helped so many people, didn't have to have his name plastered anywhere. He just did it out of pure heart of gold.
He loved seeing company in this house. It was almost pressure to bring company here for him.
What's amazing about my father-in-law is if anybody saw him in the business world, the intensity in which he cares about money and how he looks after every expense and very on every detail, but the way he gives charity is all heart. It would never have to make pure sense to him. It was much more intuitive and instinctual.
It was in his core.
Yeah.
It was not a question. No matter how much he made, when he was making very little money, he gave a little bit of charity. As he made more, he gave more. It was an automatic. It was never a decision in his mind. It was always, you had to give.
My father always believed together as a family is where the mazal is.
You had a great relationship with him. He always loved his gaily. He really had a close relationship with all his children, his children-in-laws, his grandchildren.
My father-in-law around the children, that's when you saw pure love. I mean, the most serious and intense person you could ever meet about business and money and everything But when a kid came around, any of his grandchildren, he just basically melts.
My grandfather was always there to talk to, always there to listen and give advice, and he really, really, really gave the best advice.
He was the most unbelievable person and the most heartwarming. You wouldn't believe it when you saw him. He was this very strong, big, independent, an intimidating man, but underneath it all, he's a heart of gold, and will do anything for anybody.
A few days before he passed away, he called us and he was just telling us how proud he was of my kids. It was just like so strange, and he was just saying how he can't believe what they become.
The way he acts towards his children, his grandchildren, it's amazing, but mostly to his wife.
He put my mom on a pedestal. It was so admirable how he treated her.
The respect that they had for each other was amazing. All her decisions, he went with her.
He always gave his honest opinion about anything that was on his mind. It was what you saw was what you got.
He wasn't the false complimenter. He told you what he was proud of. He was very supportive in anything you wanted. But when you did get a compliment from him, it was the world. And you knew it meant a lot, and it was true. And it made you feel great, made me feel great.
The people that he loved, they know it.
Yes.
They know it.
Yes.
Bottom line.
We've been together for many, many years, 52 years, me and him. We're going to miss him terribly. We really are.
We miss him, and he definitely left a void.
I'm Albert Chehebar. Don't be fooled by imitation. I'm the real McCoy. Nobody can imitate me.
From what my father did, it really left me with some very, very big shoes to fill. It's not going to be easy. If I could get there, he put us in a very hard position to fill.
It's an amazing example for me and my husband.
I strive to have that relationship with my wife.
They opened up their home for charitable events, inspired us to open our home for charities.
I learned so much from him.
Everything he had time for. He just made time to love everybody.